Chosen ones, something is burning through you right now, a frequency so high that the people around you can't even tune into it. They're still downloading updates while you're running on quantum processors. Your sexual energy and spiritual power have merged into something the world hasn't witnessed in generations. This isn't evolution, this is revolution coded into your DNA, and it's activating now. Look around. Everyone else is waking up in slow motion, while you've been sprinting through dimensions they don't even know exist. The gap between you and them isn't closing, it's widening every single day. You're not crazy, you're not moving too fast. You're exactly where divine timing placed you, and that placement is miles ahead of the curve. Here's what nobody told you. Being ahead of your time means walking alone until the world catches up. Your sexual and spiritual energies aren't just strong, they're magnetic, alchemical, unstoppable. They're repelling everything that can't match your frequency and pulling in everything destined for your rise. The universe didn't make a mistake when it amplified your power. It made a statement. This is your story. The one where you stop pretending to be less so, others can feel like more. You've been feeling it for months now, that restless energy coursing through your veins like electricity through copper wires. Your body doesn't feel like it used to. Your spirit doesn't settle for the things that used to satisfy you. Sleep comes differently. Dreams arrive with messages. Your senses have sharpened to the point where you can feel shifts in energy before they happen. This isn't a phase, this is activation. Your sexual energy has transformed into something beyond physical desire. It's become creative fuel, manifestation power, pure life force that you can direct with intention. When you walk into a room, people feel it before they see you. That's not confidence, that's frequency. Your spiritual energy has expanded beyond meditation and prayer. It's become a weapon and a shield, a force that bends reality to align with your truth. But here's the thing nobody warned you about. When you level up this dramatically, the people who knew the old you will struggle. They'll try to keep you in the box they built for you. They'll remind you of who you used to be, hoping you'll shrink back down. They'll call your transformation too much, too intense, too different. Let them talk. You're not here to make them comfortable. You're here to break every ceiling they told you was the sky. The loneliness you feel right now, that's not isolation, that's elevation. You're in the rarefied air where eagles fly, and most people are still earthbound. They can't breathe up here yet. The pressure at this altitude would crush them. But you were built for this. Your lungs expanded long before you started climbing. There was a version of you that played by rules you didn't write. That person is gone now, and they're not coming back. You tried treating everyone the way you wanted to be treated, and you got drained, dismissed, disrespected. You poured yourself into people who had no intention of filling your cup. You gave your energy to relationships that were one-way streets leading nowhere. That ended the moment you chose yourself. Now you operate differently. You mirror back exactly what people give you. Respect for respect, distance for distance, energy for energy. This isn't petty, it's survival. It's the difference between thriving and being consumed. You're no longer the emotional support system for people who refuse to do their own healing work. You're no longer the unpaid therapist, the free life coach, the human diary. Some people will call this change cold. Let them. They benefited from your warmth when you were burning yourself out to keep them comfortable. Now that the fireplace is closed, they're upset about the temperature change. That's their problem, not yours. You've incinerated the old belief systems that kept you tame. All those philosophies about being nice, about giving everyone unlimited chances, about martyring yourself for the greater good. Ashes. You burned them down with the truth of your own experience. Those frameworks were designed to keep you manageable, controllable, easy to use. But you're not here to be convenient. You're here to be powerful. Your instincts have taken over now. That primal knowing that doesn't need to explain itself. It just is. When something feels wrong, you move. When someone shows you who they are, you believe them the first time. No more benefit of the doubt for people who've shown you their patterns. No more second-guessing yourself because someone else questions your perception. You know what you know. Your body doesn't lie. Your spirit speaks in frequencies that bypass logic entirely. This is the ancient wisdom flowing through you, the kind that prophets and mystics spent lifetimes accessing. And you're living in it daily. Let's talk about what's really happening here. You're vibrating at a level that most humans won't reach in this lifetime. That's not arrogance, that's physics. Everything is energy, and energy moves at different speeds. You've accelerated beyond the baseline frequency of consensus reality. You're operating in dimensions others can't perceive yet. This is why conversations feel shallow now. Why small talk makes your skin crawl. Why you can't fake interest in the same topics that consume everyone else. You're not being judgmental. You're literally on a different wavelength. It's like trying to have a deep conversation using a walkie-talkie while everyone else is using tin cans and string. The sexual energy component of this transformation is crucial. Most people think sexual energy is just about physical attraction or bedroom activities. They're missing the entire picture. Sexual energy is life force energy. It's the raw creative power of the universe flowing through your human form. When you master this energy, when you stop leaking it unconsciously and start directing it intentionally, you become unstoppable. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. You're channeling this power into manifestation now, into creativity, into building empires, healing bodies, shifting paradigms. Your sexual energy and spiritual energy have merged into a singular force that's rewriting your reality in real time. People feel this radiating from you. They can't name it, but they sense it. It draws some people in like moths to flame. It repels others who know they can't handle the heat. Your spiritual energy has become surgical. You see through illusions instantly. You read energy signatures like other people read text messages. You know what someone means underneath what they're saying. You feel the truth vibrating beneath their words. This makes you dangerous to anyone operating in deception. This makes you invaluable to anyone seeking truth. But this gift comes with a cost, the unbridgeable distance between you and almost everyone else. You're seeing in full color while they're still adjusting to black and white. You're reading the entire book while they're stuck on the first chapter. You're not eons ahead, you're lifetimes ahead. Multiple incarnations of wisdom compressed into this single existence. Nobody talks about how isolating it is to be this far ahead. The spiritual community sells awakening like it's all bliss and light, but they leave out the part where you lose everyone who can't match your elevation. Friends you've known for decades suddenly feel like strangers. Family members who raised you now seem like they're speaking a foreign language. The intimate relationships that once sustained you now feel hollow, surface level, inadequate. This isn't your fault. You didn't leave them behind. You evolved beyond the container that used to hold you both. And now that container is too small. The conversations that used to satisfy you feel like cardboard when you're hungry for substance. The connections that used to feel deep now barely scratch the surface of what you need. You're not being picky. You're being protective. Your energy is precious now. You recognize it as the finite resource it is. Every interaction costs you something. Every conversation where you have to dumb yourself down, where you have to hide your light, where you have to pretend you're not seeing what you're clearly seeing, that drains you, that depletes the very power you've worked so hard to cultivate. So you pull back, you create distance, you start spending more time alone because solitude feels better than shallow connection. At least in solitude, you don't have to shrink. At least alone, you can be the full expression of your power without watching people flinch from your intensity. The people still catching glimpses of awakening don't understand why you're not celebrating with them. They're excited about their baby steps while you're already running marathons in dimensions they haven't discovered. They want you to validate their progress, to cheer them on, to make them feel special for finally noticing what you've been living in for years. But you're tired of playing teacher when you need peers, tired of being the lighthouse when you need harbor, tired of giving directions when you just want companionship for the journey. The person you were pretending to be is dead now. That carefully constructed version of yourself, the one designed to win approval, avoid conflict, maintain peace at any cost, has been incinerated. You didn't kill it gently. You burned it down completely, watched it turn to ash, and refused to resurrect it no matter how many people begged you to go back to who you used to be. Those learned behaviors were never yours to begin with. They were downloaded into you by a world that needed you controllable. Society handed you a script, and you performed it flawlessly. Be nice, be accommodating, don't make waves, sacrifice yourself for others. The good person always puts everyone else first. You followed those instructions until following them nearly destroyed you. Every expectation you absorbed was a chain. Every should that wasn't yours was a cage. Every belief about how you must be to deserve love was a prison cell. You were contorting yourself into shapes that had nothing to do with your actual essence. You were performing a role in someone else's play, speaking lines someone else wrote, living a life someone else designed. But something in you snapped. Maybe it was exhaustion, maybe it was desperation, maybe it was divine intervention. Whatever it was, it shattered the illusion completely. You saw the chains for what they were. You recognized the cage. You felt the suffocation of living inauthentically. And in that moment of clarity, you made a choice that changed everything. You chose yourself, not in a selfish way, in a survival way. You chose to breathe instead of suffocate. You chose to live instead of perform. You chose truth over comfort, authenticity over approval, freedom over acceptance. And that choice, that singular decision to stop abandoning yourself for others, was the moment everything shifted. The structures that held you collapsed, the beliefs that bound you shattered, the quiet restraints that had been slowly strangling your spirit for decades finally broke. You are standing now in the rubble of your former life, and you're not rebuilding it, you're not going back. You're creating something entirely new from the ground up, and this time it's being built on the foundation of your actual truth. Here's what changed everything. You stopped being everyone's soft place to land. You started reflecting back exactly what they brought to you. This mirror effect has revolutionized your relationships and your boundaries. When someone shows up with love and respect, you match it perfectly. When someone shows up with manipulation or disrespect, you don't absorb it anymore, you reflect it right back. This is not retaliation, this is reality. This is you refusing to be the dumping ground for everyone else's unhealed trauma and unconscious behavior. For too long, you cushioned the impact of other people's dysfunction. You made excuses for bad behavior. You explained away red flags. You gave people the benefit of doubt they never earned, and certainly never extended to you. Those days are finished. Now you hold up the mirror, and people see themselves clearly for the first time. Some people appreciate this. They use the reflection to grow, to examine their patterns, to become better humans. These people level up alongside you. They meet your new frequency with curiosity instead of resistance. But others, they shatter against that mirror. They can't handle seeing their own reflection. They blame you for showing them what they refuse to see. They call you cold, harsh, changed. They're right about one thing: you have changed. You changed from someone who protected them from consequences into someone who lets reality teach them what you no longer will. The mirror doesn't just work in relationships with others, it works within yourself too. You're reflecting your own truth back to yourself with unprecedented clarity. The parts of you that were performing, people-pleasing, pretending they can't survive in this mirror. Only what's authentic remains. Only what's real can stand in this reflection. You're seeing yourself as you truly are, possibly for the first time, and what you're seeing is magnificent, raw, powerful, unfiltered. This is the version of you that was always there, buried under layers of conditioning and expectation. Now those layers are gone, burned away, and what remains is pure essence. Something miraculous is happening in your orbit now. New people are appearing. Different people. These aren't the energy vampires and project cases of your past. These are individuals who show up as already whole. They're not looking for you to fix them, save them, or complete them. They're looking for equal exchange, mutual respect, authentic connection. These new relationships feel different from the first conversation. There's no need to explain yourself, no need to shrink, no need to manage their emotions or walk on eggshells. You can show up fully and they don't flinch. They don't ask you to dim your light. They match it with their own. This is what reciprocity actually looks like. Not keeping score, but natural balance. When you give, they give. When you need space, they respect it. When you set boundaries, they honor them without making you the villain. These people understand that your energy is valuable because their energy is valuable too. They're not trying to extract from you what they refuse to cultivate in themselves. You're no longer the lifeboat rescuing people from drowning. You're standing on solid ground, and the people joining you here are also standing on their own. Nobody's clinging, nobody's dependent, everybody's sovereign. This is the promised land after years in the desert of draining dynamics. Your life is being restructured by forces you can't see but can definitely feel. Connections that served the old you are being divinely severed, not through dramatic blow-ups necessarily, but through natural drift. Phone calls that used to happen weekly just stop. Text messages go unanswered on both sides. Plans get cancelled and never rescheduled. The universe is doing surgery on your social circle, removing what no longer serves your evolution. Some people will try to force their way back in. They'll sense you slipping away and suddenly become interested again. They'll show up with apologies or explanations, trying to secure their position in your life. But you can feel it now, the difference between authentic reconnection and manipulative maintenance. You're not fooled anymore. You can sense when someone wants access to your energy versus genuine connection with your soul. The relationships that couldn't handle your transformation are falling away naturally, not because you're pushing people out, but because the frequency mismatch makes connection impossible. It's like trying to force a key into the wrong lock. It just doesn't fit anymore. Some people will try harder, forcing the connection long after it stopped working, but you won't force it. You've learned that when something requires constant effort to maintain, it was never meant for this version of you. Let them go. Everyone who's meant to stay in your life will adapt to your new frequency. Everyone else is being divinely removed to make space for what's actually aligned. Trust this pruning process. The universe isn't taking anything from you that belongs in your future. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. You're mastering something that most people never learn, the art of caring without carrying. You can hold space for others without absorbing their chaos. You can listen without becoming their dumping ground. You can empathize without sacrificing your peace. This is detachment, and it's your superpower now. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's knowing where you end and others begin. It's recognizing that everyone is on their own journey, and your job is not to walk their path for them. For years you confused support with sacrifice. You thought love meant losing yourself in others. You believed that caring meant carrying everyone's burdens until you collapsed under the weight. But that wasn't love. That was self-abandonment, dressed up as virtue. Real love preserves both people. Real support empowers others without depleting yourself. You're learning to love from overflow now, not from deficit. You fill your own cup first, and then you share from the surplus, never from the last drops you need to survive. Your energy is not unlimited. This is the truth they never taught you. You are not a bottomless well. You are a human being with finite resources that must be replenished. Every interaction costs you something. Every conversation expends energy. Every emotional labor session depletes your reserves. You're finally treating your energy like the precious resource it is. This means saying no without guilt. This means ending conversations when they start draining you. This means walking away from situations that would have hooked you for hours in the past. You're protecting yourself now, and there's nothing selfish about it. Self-preservation is not selfishness, it's wisdom. It's the foundation of sustainability. You can't pour from an empty vessel and you're done running on empty. The people who benefited from your boundaryless giving will call this change selfish. They'll accuse you of becoming cold, distant, unavailable. Translation: you're no longer available to be used. You're no longer volunteering for unpaid emotional labor. You're no longer accepting one-sided dynamics disguised as friendship, and they're upset about it. Let them be upset. Their discomfort with your boundaries is not your responsibility to manage. You're building a fortress around your energy now, and only those who respect the walls are invited inside. There was a time when you knew things without knowing how you knew them. When you were a child, before the world taught you to doubt yourself, your instincts were sharp and immediate. You trusted your body. You listened to your gut. You moved away from things that felt wrong without needing logical proof. Then society got to you. They taught you to override your instincts with rationality. They told you to give everyone a chance, even when your body was screaming danger. They convinced you that intuition was unreliable, that feelings were foolish, that logic should always win, so you learned to silence the very guidance system designed to keep you safe and aligned. But you're unlearning all of that now. You're returning to the primal wisdom that flows through you, that instant knowing that bypasses the mind entirely. Your body is speaking again, and this time you're listening. When something feels off, you don't question it anymore. You move. When someone shows you who they are, you don't wait for additional evidence. You believe them immediately. This reconnection with instinct has brought back a vitality you thought was lost. You feel younger now, more alive. There's a wildness moving through you that no amount of adulting could fully tame. This is your life force unbound. This is your spirit remembering what freedom feels like. No more rigid rules, no more should and supposed to, just the pure, unfiltered flow of your authentic response to life. Physical sensations have become guidance systems now. That tightening in your chest when something's wrong, that expansion in your solar plexus when something's right, the way your body recoils before your mind can form a thought, the way your skin tingles in the presence of truth. Your body has become a finely tuned instrument, detecting frequencies that your conscious mind can't process. You move differently now. There's a fluidity to your actions that wasn't there before, a grace that comes from being fully embodied, fully present, fully alive in your form. You're not living from the neck up anymore, trapped in analytical overthinking. You're living from your entire being, body, mind and spirit, operating as one integrated system. Sleep has changed. Dreams have intensified. You're processing information on multiple levels simultaneously. The downloads come fast now, sometimes faster than you can integrate them. You wake up with knowing you didn't have when you fell asleep. Your subconscious is working overtime, rewiring your neural pathways, updating your internal software, preparing you for what's coming. Your instincts are merging with your sexual and spiritual energies now, creating a trinity of power that makes you nearly untouchable. You know what you want. You know what you won't tolerate. You know who belongs in your life and who doesn't. And you're moving accordingly, with the confidence of someone who trusts themselves completely. This trust is everything. It's the difference between seeking external validation and having internal authority. It's the shift from asking permission to declaring intention. It's the transformation from follower to leader of your own life. You're not looking for gurus anymore. You're not waiting for someone else to tell you what's true. You know, your body knows, your spirit knows, and that knowing is absolute. Whether you speak or stay silent, you're affecting everyone around you. Your presence alone is a transmission. The frequency you're operating at is contagious. Not everyone can catch it, but everyone can feel it. You're broadcasting on a bandwidth that bypasses conscious awareness and goes straight into the subconscious of everyone in your field. People change after spending time with you. They don't always know why. They can't articulate what happened, but something in them shifts. Seeds get planted. Awareness expands. Questions they've been avoiding suddenly demand answers. This is your influence, working beneath the surface, restructuring the energy of everyone you touch. Some people feel threatened by this. Your light exposes their shadows. Your clarity illuminates their confusion. Your power challenges their victim stories. They want you to dim, to soften, to make yourself smaller so they can remain comfortable in their limitations. But you're not here for their comfort. You're here to be a catalyst for transformation, whether they're ready for it or not. Others feel liberated by your presence. They see you living in your truth, and it gives them permission to explore their own. They witness you holding boundaries, and it inspires them to establish their own. They watch you choosing yourself repeatedly, and it plants the seed that maybe they can too. You're not trying to teach anyone anything. You're simply being, and that being is instruction enough. Your higher self is operating through every interaction now. This isn't conscious effort, it's natural overflow. You've aligned so completely with your truth that you can't help but transmit it. Your words carry weight beyond their literal meaning. Your energy rewires the energetic patterns of everyone you engage with. Your very existence is a disruption to the status quo. This is why some people can't be in your presence for long. It's not personal. They're not ready for the frequency you're carrying. Your energy demands authenticity, and most people are still hiding behind masks. Your vibration calls forth truth, and many people are still comfortable with their lies. You're a walking mirror, a living catalyst, and that's threatening to anyone who's not ready to face themselves. Being a chosen one isn't glamorous. It's not about being special or superior. It's about carrying a weight that most people will never understand. You've been given gifts that come with massive responsibility. The heightened perception, the amplified energy, the ability to influence and transform, all of it requires stewardship. You can't use these abilities carelessly. You can't wield this power without wisdom. This is the burden you carry. The knowledge that your words land differently, that your energy impacts others profoundly, that your choices ripple out in ways you can't fully track. You're operating with more influence than most people will ever possess, and that influence must be handled with integrity. There are moments when you'll want to abuse this power, moments when you're hurt or angry, and you could use your gifts to manipulate, to wound, to get revenge, but you don't, not because you're weak, but because you understand the sacred nature of what you've been given. You recognize that these abilities were entrusted to you for elevation, not destruction. This restraint is part of what makes you chosen. Anyone can gain power, few can wield it responsibly. You're being tested constantly, not by some external god, but by the universe itself, which is checking whether you're mature enough to handle what you've been given. Every time you choose integrity over revenge, truth over convenience, love over fear, you pass the test. You prove yourself worthy of the mantle you carry. The path ahead is not easy. The obstacles are real. The challenges will push you to your limits and beyond. But you're built for this. Every hardship you've survived has prepared you. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss showed you what truly matters. Every moment of loneliness strengthened your self-reliance. You've been in training your entire life for this phase. Divine guidance moves through you like a river through a canyon, constant, powerful, undeniable. You don't always understand where it's leading, but you trust the current. This trust is faith in action, not blind belief, but deep knowing. You've seen the evidence of divine orchestration too many times to doubt it now. You've watched the universe move mountains on your behalf. You've witnessed miracles manifested through your alignment. You're living in timelines that haven't arrived for most people yet. The thoughts you're thinking, The energy you're holding, the reality you're experiencing, this is the future breaking through the present moment. You're not ahead of the curve, you are the curve. You're creating the path that others will eventually walk. This is why nothing from the old world fits anymore. The jobs, the relationships, the identities, the goals, they all feel like ancient history, because for you they are. You're already living in the next iteration of human consciousness. The rules have changed, the game has evolved, and you're playing on a board that most people can't even see yet. Your sexual and spiritual energies have unlocked capacities that were dormant in you until now. You're manifesting faster, creating with greater precision, attracting with magnetic force, repelling with absolute clarity. You're living proof that humans can evolve within a single lifetime. That transformation isn't gradual, it's quantum. That awakening isn't a slow climb, it's a sudden explosion. Everything you've been through was preparation for this moment. Every person who betrayed you taught you discernment. Every situation that broke you rebuilt you stronger. Every loss cleared space for what's coming. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. It was all orchestration, all divine setup for the expansion you're experiencing now. The isolation you felt, it was incubation. The loneliness you endured, it was initiation. The confusion you moved through, it was transformation. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. You weren't being left behind. You were being pushed ahead. The universe wasn't ignoring your prayers. It was answering them in ways your conscious mind couldn't comprehend at the time. Now you're seeing the full picture. Now you understand why certain doors closed. Now you recognize why certain people had to leave. Everything that fell away was creating space for everything that's arriving now. The universe was clearing your field, removing obstacles, eliminating distractions, so you could step fully into the power you're wielding now. You're standing at a threshold right now. Behind you is everything you've ever known, the comfort of the familiar, the safety of the predictable, the ease of conforming. Ahead of you is the unknown, the wild territory of your full potential, the untamed power of your authentic self, the unbounded possibilities of your true nature. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when everyone understands. Right now, you can choose to step fully into this power, or you can hesitate, retreat, make yourself small again, to ease the discomfort of others. But understand this, there's no going back. You can't unknow what you know now. You can't unfeel what you've felt. You can't unsee what you've seen. The sexual and spiritual energies coursing through you won't be suppressed again. They're too strong now, too awakened, too integrated into who you've become. You can either channel this power intentionally, or it will express itself chaotically. You can either direct this energy consciously, or it will direct you. The choice is yours, but doing nothing is not an option. Your path is calling you forward with urgency now. The mission encoded in your DNA is activating fully. You came here for this. You chose this life, this body, this timeline specifically for what you're about to do. The divine didn't make a mistake when it selected you. It knew exactly what it was doing. It knew you could handle the isolation. It knew you'd survive the initiation. It knew you'd emerge with your power intact and your purpose clear. Everything that separated you from the masses was divine design. You needed that distance to develop your gifts without interference. You needed that loneliness to build your strength without dependence. You needed that confusion to sharpen your discernment without external authority. Every uncomfortable moment was necessary. Every painful experience was purposeful. And now here you are, fully activated, completely aligned, undeniably powerful. The question isn't whether you're ready. You've been ready. The question is whether you're willing to be misunderstood, willing to walk alone, willing to carry the weight of this calling, willing to be everything you came here to be, even when it costs you everything comfortable. The world needs you operating at full capacity, not the watered-down version, not the people-pleasing version, the raw, unfiltered, fully expressed version of you that's been waiting to emerge your entire life. This is your time. This is your moment. This is the convergence of preparation meeting opportunity, and you're standing right in the center of it. So speak your truth. Share your story. Let your voice shake the foundations of everything built on lies. Let your energy disrupt every system designed to keep people small. Let your presence remind others of their own forgotten power. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out so dramatically that others remember they can too. The sexual energy you carry is creation force. The spiritual energy you embody is divine power. Together they make you unstoppable, unshakable, undeniable. You're not ahead of your time by accident. You're ahead of your time by design. And that design is unfolding perfectly, exactly as it was always meant to. Welcome home, chosen one. You've arrived.